So, guys, Manchester United 3, Leicester City 0, full time from Old Trafford on this Sunday evening, where we celebrated 250 appearances for Bruno Fernandes as a Manchester United player. We also said goodbye to Ruud van Nistelrooy on his final game as interim manager of Manchester United, and the brilliance at the end from Alejandro Garnacho to seal the points in another comfortable home performance against struggling relegation threatened Leicester City at Old Trafford on this Sunday evening. A massive 3 points, a huge 3 points, another huge win for Manchester United, obviously against a team like Leicester who are really struggling under Steve Cooper, who are fighting relegation again back to the Championship. Steve Cooper, I would say, is probably in massive trouble after that result. I think the lack of Leicester quality through their midfield, through to their attack, and obviously their weaknesses at the back are causing Leicester City major problems. And this is why they are struggling back in the Premier League, because I think realistically, like I keep saying, that when you lose a quality manager like Enzo Maresca and you lose your best player in Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, Leicester City were always going to struggle to life being back in the Premier League. And I think today was a telltale sign of that this is going to be a long season for Leicester City with the likes of these performances away against the top clubs. And I think Leicester probably wouldn't be too surprised by the result. I don't think Leicester are going to be too surprised by the outcome. And I think Leicester City gave it a go. I think Leicester City tried their best to try and get involved in the game. But I think the quality in the end from Manchester United was just a little bit too much again, where they've conceded 8 goals in their last 2 games now against Manchester United away at Old Trafford, which obviously is a very worrying times for a Leicester City supporter, with their team absolutely leaking goals in the last few weeks. But today was a good day for Manchester United. It was a great result. It moves us further up the Premier League table. Obviously, we've got 7 points under Ruud van Nistelrooy from the last 3 games, which I don't think anyone can really complain about. I think it's probably what we would have taken at the end of the day. I think if we would have won the game against Chelsea in our previous Premier League fixture at Old Trafford, it would have been icing on the cake from 9 points from 9. But I think 7 points from 9 is probably not a bad outcome. It's not a bad result. And I think today Manchester United deserved the points because Leicester City were not in that game. I think the brilliance of Bruno Fernandes, I think the brilliance from Ahmad, and I think obviously the brilliance from Garnacho, 3 players that are highly starting to perform at the levels that we all expected them to be at. And I think I'm not surprised by the team selection today. And again, I was quite worried by the midfield. I was quite worried again that we're letting Bruno Fernandes do all the centre attacking midfield approaches towards the Leicester City goal. And he was probably our main attacking midfielder going forward to get the ball to our front 3. But I didn't have anything to worry about. I really did not have anything to worry about today. But you never know if you can trust Manchester United to be able to achieve these type of results against a relegated team who are obviously fighting for their lives at the bottom half of the Premier League table. But I think today, to celebrate the way we did with Bruno Fernandes, 250 appearance today, it was icing on the cake from Manchester United. I think the brilliance of the first goal, the 1-2 between Amad Diallo and Bruno Fernandes, is absolutely world class. I mean, this is why I trust a player like Amad, and this is why I've still stuck by Bruno Fernandes. And obviously, he's probably not been as brilliant as we probably wanted him to be in the last few games. I think, we have seen that Bruno Fernandes struggle this season. He's not exactly been banging in the goals and putting in the qualities of what a Manchester United captain should be. But I think today the first goal was a telltale sign that this was going to be a positive day for Manchester United. I mean, it's just brilliant. Like the goal from Bruno to get us in the lead, to get us in control of the game, was a brilliant start. I mean, the 1-2 between him and Ahmad is absolutely brilliant, and that's the kind of link-up play that you would want from your players. That's the kind of quality that you want to see from your wingers and your midfielders, where they are starting to link up the play and they're starting to link up together as a duo. And I think obviously the pass from Bruno to Ahmad, and then Ahmad back to Bruno, the little cheeky back heel from Ahmad is just pure quality. And this is why, you know, Amad is now getting his chance. This is why now Amad is going to be the winger on the right wing. That is going to be hopefully the solution going forward for Manchester United in an attacking sense, where I think a lot of wingers now are probably worried about their futures at Manchester United because Amad is now putting in the performances that we want in this. And I think he's only going to get bigger and better with Ruben Amorim coming in as the new Manchester United manager. And obviously Amad is obviously very excited to work under the new coach as well. But to set Bruno Fernandes the way up he did, I mean, it's a bit of a cocky approach. It is a bit of, you know, brilliant skill. And it's also a bit of, you know, this is what I can do. If you give me the ball, this is what I can do to help the team. This is the brilliance that I can show if you start me in these games. And I think obviously Leicester City, the amount of goals they conceded, I think soon as the Bruno Fernandes strike went in, I think soon as the first goal happened, I saw the Leicester City morale drop. I saw the Leicester City confidence go out the window. Leicester City did not respond to the first goal. And again, no one's really trying to close Bruno Fernandes down. No one's trying to block the shot. No one's trying to put a tackle in, and no one's trying to keep that shot out from the Leicester City penalty area. And I think, like I said, soon as the first goal went in, I didn't see any response from Leicester City. And again, that was the response we had in the Carabao Cup fourth round at home to them, when soon as the first goal went in, Leicester City looked absolutely lost. And you've got to look at that Leicester City team. There is a lack of quality in it, I think, in my view. And I think they are, by what I'm gathering, look, they're missing Jamie Vardy. I mean, I don't think I would be saying that. They are missing a striker like Jamie Vardy. They are missing that leader. They are missing that captain. And they are missing that goal scorer. Leicester City aren't scoring enough goals. They haven't really got anything in an attacking sense going forward that is really going to cause Manchester United any problems. And I think they're also missing Mavididi. Like, again, very, very lackluster Leicester without a quality player like Mavididi in your team. You are going to struggle to create goals. You are going to struggle to create attacking opportunities for Leicester going forward. And I think, you know, they also have a player like Harry Winks in their midfielder who's had plenty of Premier League experience with obviously Tottenham Hotspur in his past career. And I was, you know, kind of looking at that midfield role to be, you know, he'll take that leadership on, he'll take that role model on, and he'll be that player that you can go to help improve your game. But again, I don't see Leicester City surviving at the rate they are trying to go at. I think the performances are just nowhere near the level. I think Steve Cooper was a massive, desperate appointment by Leicester in the first place. And I think it was quite shocking for Leicester City to go for a manager that was sacked by Forest because they were going backwards under him. And to go for Steve Cooper compared to Enzo Maresca, the quality of managers is night and day between both of them. And I think this is why Leicester are struggling, because I think the approach from Steve Cooper is that he's fully expecting his team to go for it. He's fully expecting Leicester City to cause all the teams they face a problem. And they don't have the quality. They don't have the team. They don't have the players. They simply just don't have the attacking threats in their team that is going to cause any opposition, any problems. And like I said, without quality players like Mavididi and Jamie Vardy, Leicester are not going to do well. And I think that was a telltale sign of Leicester City's performances today. I think their back four is also very, very weak. I mean, a centre-back like Far's in their back four, who doesn't really give you any sign of any confidence. And obviously another young centre-back in Christensen as well. It's not exactly going to, you know, give Leicester City fans any confidence. I'm not ready yet. Yeah, charge it downstairs. Yeah, I think, you know, Leicester City are really, really risking, you know, quality in their team. Their back four is probably their biggest weakness in their team. I would say their back four is very, very vulnerable. Like, I've not seen that same Leicester City back four like it was in the Premier League years ago. That back four was never as weak as that, but now it's very, very vulnerable. And I think, you know, like I said, the Bruno Fernandes strike is a fantastic goal. It's a fantastic bit of play from Bruno Fernandes and obviously Amad Diallo as well to get us in the lead, because I did think we dominated the game. I think we dominated the first half. I thought some of the football we were playing was absolutely brilliant. And I think we prevented Leicester City from having realistically any good chance on goal. The only decent chance they had in that first half was the Wilfred Ndidi how he broke through a massive gap between DALOT and Martinez, and he managed to break through that gap, and he had quite a tame shot against ONANA, which ONANA, to be fair, saved quite comfortably. That was Leicester City's best chance on goal. And apart from that, I don't think Leicester City really did a lot apart from that to really cause Manchester United any problem. And I think, we were 1-0 up I think we were 1-0 up at that time when that Wilfred Ndidi got through our back four. And you think to yourself, this is going to end up going in and we're going to end up throwing points away. But again, it was quite a tame shot. It was quite a tamed effort against Onana. And again, it was a really, really comfortable save, because I think if that was to have gone in, that would have changed the momentum. That would have changed the phase of play. And I think Leicester City would have felt confident of trying to get an unlikely result at Old Trafford today. But again, I think where it then went wrong from Leicester was when they conceded the second goal. And I still think this should go down as a Bruno Fernandes goal, in my view. I think Bruno Fernandes, for me, is at the double today. And obviously, it's quite a weak header. The header which Bruno Fernandes puts on from the cross inside the Leicester City penalty area, it's quite a weak header. It's quite a weak effort on goal, but it has then gone in off their centre-back, Christensen. But I do believe the shot was on goal. The shot was on target. I think it might have just snuck in, even without the deflection from their centre-back, Christensen, from Leicester City. So I think it really should go down as a second Bruno Fernandes goal, in my view. But obviously, the goals panel will give it as an own goal. So I think, Bruno Fernandes has probably been robbed of quite a comfortable second goal. And I think, for me today, we really saw the best of Bruno Fernandes. I've not seen that performance from a midfielder like him for a while. And I think, he takes a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. Obviously, he did blame himself for the sacking of Erik ten Hag. And obviously, I wouldn't have put a lot of blame on Bruno Fernandes. I don't think he was at fault for Erik ten Hag sacking. I think Erik ten Hag got himself the sack by the lack of results that we've achieved this season. And a lot was going wrong in our team. A lot of the midfielders that we are putting our trust in weren't exactly producing. I think we've still got an attack that is still lacking quite a few goals. And we've got quite a solid back four. I mean, I think for me today, the second goal, I think soon as that happened in a Leicester City point of view, Leicester City crumbled. Like, Leicester City didn't respond well when they went 1-0 down. I think when they went 2-0 down, the confidence went out the window. The atmosphere fell flat from a Leicester City point of view. And I don't think Steve Cooper could have gone in at half-time trying to get his troops off the ground, because obviously Leicester had done well at that point not to concede a second goal. But I think, again, it's poor defending to allow a cross to go inside your penalty area without an attempt to try and close that cross down or trying to clear that ball away from danger. Leicester City players just stand there like statues. And for me, that's quite shocking. And I think it's probably down to the approach that Steve Cooper is trying to get out of his Leicester City players, that let's try and play out of the back and let's try and play for the midfield to get through the attack. And I think the back four really do not help themselves. Their back four is very, very vulnerable. And I think, again, like I said, the second goal is just very, very poor defending. And it's very, very unlikely an own goal would have gone in today. But again, it's very, very unfortunate that it has gone in off a Leicester City player. But obviously, I'm going to take that because I think the game was won then, in my view. I think the game was probably won in Manchester United's favour, because the second kick goal absolutely killed Leicester City of any comeback at all to try and rescue a point or at least an unlikely win. I think Leicester City don't respond well when they concede a lot of goals. And I think you wouldn't really respond well if you conceded quite a few goals. But I think Leicester's morale is just absolutely all over the shop at the minute. I think what's really damaged Leicester is the Nottingham Forest result at home. I think since Leicester City then, they've been on a downward spiral under Steve Cooper. And I think, again, a few more results like that, and I think Steve Cooper's going to find himself in a lot of trouble trying to keep his Leicester City job alive, because I think the fans aren't happy from Leicester. The supporters aren't exactly thrilled of his appointment in the first place. And they only just scraped through the Carabao Cup as well in the latter stages. So I think, Steve Cooper, his job is hanging by a thread at the moment. And I think, what really went well for us today, and again, a lot of people know that I'm not a big fan of, playing two CDMs in one position to try and keep that back four even more comfortable. I have to hold my hands up. I have got it wrong. Like, I'm very, very wary of starting Casemiro and UGARTE in the same game. I'm quite weary and quite disappointed when we start two CDMs because, again, I think there's a lot of reliance on Bruno Fernandes to be able to produce from the more forward position in the midfield, which is the centre attack and midfield option. And I think a lot is being relied on Bruno Fernandes to be able to produce. I feel like he's really only our best centre attacking midfielder at this current moment in time, with the likes of ERIKSEN and Mount only just coming back from injury, and obviously KOBBIE MAINOO still out injured as well. And I think, I get worried when we started two CDMs today. Again, it was pretty much an unchanged team, apart from one or two changes from the result against Palcom Thursday night in the Europa League on match day 4. Like, I was very, very wary of how that midfield was going to be able to create today. And I think, Manchester United probably were going to miss a trick trying to give Bruno Fernandes that extra support next to him and the other centre attacking midfield spot next to him. And again, I want Bruno Fernandes to be given that extra support. I want Bruno Fernandes to be given that extra help because I do think he deserves it. Because, again, today to celebrate the 250 appearances for the club is something very, very special. And I think that's why we saw the best of Bruno today, because I think, again, he does take a lot of responsibility. He does take a lot on his shoulders, and he does see the criticism. He does see the pressure. He does see what Man United fans and supporters are feeling. And I think Bruno Fernandes today really, really turned up to the party. And we saw the very best of him. Like, I've been very, very critical of where Bruno Fernandes has been all season long. But I think today, and I think he really, really was different from what I saw on Thursday night, because I think on Thursday he was very, very lethargic. He was very, very timid in possession. He gave a lot of passes away. He gave the ball quite a lot. But I think today we saw the very best of what Bruno Fernandes is actually trying to achieve. I think he's trying to make a comeback, and I think he's trying to put the wrongs on Thursday into a positive today. And I think he did that in an absolute abundance. And again, he does get the header through the own goal to end up the ball in the back of the Leicester City net to seal the second goal. And again, Bruno Fernandes is in the right space at the right time to create that second goal. And again, I think it should go down as a Bruno Fernandes goal. I don't think, for me, it should go down as an own goal, because the original header is on target. And for me, today, he was probably one of our most standout players. But I think back to the conversations about the midfield, like, again, a lot of people have pinpointed that I've been very negative about the midfield. But I think today, like I said, I'm holding my hands up. It really, really works with UGARTE and Casemiro in the two CDM slots. And again, I don't really want to see that from Manchester United in every game. But today, it was an absolute blessing to have both of them in that midfield today, because the midfield now looks so much secure, having both of them in the same team, with Fernandes a bit more further forward. The midfield looks absolutely fantastic. And again, you've got to give credit to what Manuel UGARTE has done for this club since he's been here. Like, he was badly mistreated under Erik Ten Hag. Ten Hag managed him extremely wrong. He mistreated the player. He didn't give him the respect I think UGARTE deserved. And he wasn't really giving UGARTE the game time that he deserved in the first place. And I think when you come to Man United for 60 million, a lot of pressure is going to be on your shoulders to produce. And the brilliance on Thursday and the brilliance again today to hold that midfield and to be able to orchestrate the defensive work is absolutely phenomenal. Like, what a player we have got on our hands here at Manchester United. And obviously, when new players come in, everyone is always very sceptical on how new players are going to work out. But I think UGARTE in the last two games has exactly shown why Manchester United brought him in the first place. And I think Erik Ten Hag is probably going to be left bittersweet for not using UGARTE in the first place in several games before UGARTE got anywhere near the first team. And I think Erik Ten Hag's probably got egg left on his face now, because the type of performances UGARTE is putting in is absolutely phenomenal. And I can't believe what a midfielder we've got on our hands, because he makes that midfield job in the CDM role. It looks so solid. It looks so comfortable. It looks so easy for UGARTE to be able to keep producing the type of performances he is actually giving to the club. He's fighting for every ball. He's fighting for every tackle, the way he commands the ball, the way he's able to bring the ball out from the CDM role and get the ball a bit more moving further forward. It's just sensational that a quality player like that was allowed to slip through PSG's hands, and PSG to let a quality player like that go has probably been a massive, massive mistake from PSG. And that is probably, in my view, why they've actually been struggling under Luis Enrique, because they don't really have that quality in their midfield anymore. And I think losing UGARTE was probably quite a big regret, in my view. And I think what he's done for Man United today shows why we paid the money. It shows why we brought him to the football club, because he is such a massive, massive upgrade on what we've had before. I've not seen that CDM for years, and performances like that are absolute blessings to have in our team. And UGARTE today, another 10 out of 10 performance. He did not put a foot wrong. He fights for everything. He doesn't just give up. He fights for everything that Manchester United are trying to achieve and wanting at this football club. And he's actually given his all in a Man United shirt. He's showing why he's here. He's showing why he should be at this football club, because he's got the quality to be one of our main midfield starters for the next 10 to 15 years at this rate, because the quality he's producing and the skill and the charisma and the arrogance in the way he commands the ball, and he's been able to find such audacious passes, and some of the passes make it look such a blessing to watch. And I think it also really helped Casemiro today, who again did not put a foot wrong. He put the tackles in at the right time. He didn't give any really stupid free kicks away. He didn't really put any bad fouls in. I think Casemiro now, all of a sudden, the resurgence of Casemiro is also another big talking point on why that midfield was so good today. Because I think now what we're starting to see is, if you look at the current midfield three, you've got Casemiro, UGARTE and Bruno. They all bring the best out of each other. They're all bringing their best games out of one another. And I think their communication, their commands, and I think also the way they all demand the ball from each other, that is not what we've seen in ages. Like, we've not seen that leadership role in any of those midfield three spots for ages. And I don't know why we've not seen it. Maybe, it's been a blessing that Mason Mount and Eriksen have been nowhere near the team. And obviously, I was quite concerned that, Bruno Fernandes was doing that centre attacking midfield role on his own again, because I was worried, where's all the attacking options going to come from the midfield, because we're starting to see CDMs again. But today, it shows that it's actually working. It shows that playing at three midfielders and playing two CDMs to protect the back four, it's also helping that back four being able to defend better and to get the ball away from our goal. Because if you've got two CDMs, one on either side of each other, you've got the option of, from the two centre-backs to the left-back to the right-back, to be able to pinpoint where the two CDMs are. And if you give to the CDMs either of the ball, you're then able to get that ball to Bruno, and Bruno then gets that ball forward to Marcus Rashford, Amad Diallo and Rasmus HOJLUND. And that is really helping our back four be a lot more comfortable. And again, Erik ten Hag probably got the midfield wrong because he didn't really want to use UGARTE. He was really used to just using Casemiro, Eriksen, and Bruno Fernandes, because he ended up resorting back to his first three midfielders he had at the club in his first year as manager. And obviously that worked to an extent. But I think in season 3, when you're using the same three and you're not really improving what you've already got, it kind of makes it put on a negative, because the midfielders he had have got all used to each other's games in the first 2 seasons. And I think that was a telltale sign of, we left the midfield too long to improve it. I think last season was a massive miss as well, because I think if Man United would have got UGARTE last summer instead of players like Amrabat, then maybe that would have been another bonus, because UGARTE in one season already is showing why he was bought by the club, and he's bringing out the best of Casemiro. I mean, I've not seen this Casemiro for ages. I don't know where it's been. I don't know where these type of performances from the legend that Casemiro is, because of all the trophies and the titles he's won at all his clubs, especially Real Madrid. We've not seen that consistency and that hard rock midfielder and that absolutely, I'm giving my all. I'm not going to give in to this. That midfield now looks absolutely solid as a rock. And again, that is the quality of what UGARTE is being able to bring to the midfield, because it's helping Casemiro improve. It's helping Bruno Fernandes, and they all look, in my view, so comfortable together. And I think for me, it shows why these three have started the last two games together, because it shows that they're all getting used to each other's game. They all know how to play with each other. They know how to perform together as a midfield three, because it's making the midfield roles a lot more secure, a lot more balanced. And again, I think we all know that the futures of Eriksen and Mount are going to be lying away from Old Trafford eventually. And again, I know Casemiro was also brilliant as well today. I don't think he put a foot wrong. I think eventually he will also be moved on, because I think, in my view, we do need to be looking at improving that midfield role at that extra CDM in the future. But I think today, this is a telltale sign of we are going to stick with this midfield three. And I think Kobbie Mainoo's then also going to struggle to get back in this team, because if you're going to see this consistency from UGARTE, Casemiro and Fernandes every game, then that midfield is going to be absolutely secure. They'll be the first three names on the team sheet. There's no way those three can be dropped. There's no way those three cannot not be selected. They have to be starting together. And I think Ruben Amorim might do that. I think he's going to look at the last few performances and he's going to see, well, this midfield three is actually working. Look how solid they look defensively. The back four doesn't have a lot of problems. And I've noticed that the opposition team are now struggling to attack us, because we've got two CDMs that are also helping protect the back four. So we're basically playing a back six, because you've got the right back, the two centre backs, the left back, and the two CDMs protecting the goal. And I think it's also helping, certain players in that back four that weren't actually performing at their best. And I think, again, it's because they see there's two options now in front of them to be able to get to ball to either Casemiro and UGARTE. And those two are then ending up helping bring the ball out from the back four from the CDM and get that ball moving forward up the pitch a bit better. And it's also helping Bruno, because he knows there's that extra protection now to making that backfield secure, because of the quality of UGARTE and also the quality of what Casemiro is also doing as well. And I think that is benefiting everybody at the moment. And again, it's, you do get concerned when Bruno does everything. But in the end, I have to hold my hands up. I wasn't keen on this midfield three at the start. But I think today, the solidarity, what everyone's achieving together, is brilliant. I've not seen that midfield dominance for ages. Where has it been? I don't know. I think Erik ten Hag has got to take a lot of responsibility, because he neglected UGARTE. He didn't want to use UGARTE because he had this obsession with McTominay and Hannibal Mabry, and he wanted to keep McTominay. He didn't want McTominay to go. But Man United saw a massive opportunity to bring a quality player like UGARTE, and Ruud van Nistelrooy recognised that. Ruud van Nistelrooy probably saw this quality of UGARTE is not being used properly. I've got to get him in this team somehow. I've got to be able to make this midfield a lot more solid. Let's try play these two CDMs together. Let's push Fernandes further forward in the centre attacking midfield slot. Let him support the front three while these two CDMs play in his back six with the back four behind them. And let's make that back four even more secure than what it already is. It is just pure brilliance from the midfield today. It's just pure solidarity, quality midfield leadership that team has been lacking for ages. And I think, Kobbie Mainoo will want to get back in that midfield, but Kobbie Mainoo is going to struggle now. I want Kobbie Mainoo back, do not get me wrong, because he'll add even more quality into that team. And again, we might route back to Fernandes and Mainoo in the two centre attacking midfield slots and play one CDM. But at the moment, how can you drop Casemiro? How can you drop UGARTE? How can you drop Fernandes? You can't. You absolutely cannot drop these three the way the midfield is looking at the moment. It's too secure to change. Don't change what's not broken. Change what isn't working right to benefit the team more going forward in the future. I think if Casemiro can keep his performances, there might be a chance Casemiro stays next season. I'm not saying he's going to. I still think logically in the long term we need to replace him. But at the moment, when he's not putting a foot wrong and UGARTE's getting better, and Casemiro's improving his game, and Fernandes is getting even better in the more attacking midfield slot. How can you drop them? You can't. You really, really can't. And I think what put the icing on the cake is the Garnacho goal at the end. That goal was absolutely phenomenal. Like, the quality of player like Garnacho is an understatement. The quality that this guy's got, the skill, the passion, the quality going forward, his speed, his precision, his accuracy, his quality going forward is absolutely immense. The quality player that we've got in Garnacho is going to get bigger and better in the future under Ruben Amorim. Garnacho is a special world-class player. For me, he's got the levels to be up with Messi. He's got the levels to be up there with Ronaldo. Garnacho's goal at the end was absolutely fantastic. And again, to get that ball to Garnacho so quickly, and for Garnacho to attack that back four so quickly as well. That back four could not cope with Garnacho in that second half. As soon as Garnacho came on, the intensity and the attacking levels went up here. That is the quality Garnacho is bringing to this team. The quality he's bringing to that front three is making our attacking threat even more of a threat, because he's being able to get up their back four. He's able to get into their penalty area. He's able to shoot from outside and inside the box. But the goal to seal it is just fucking phenomenal. Like, for me, I've not seen a strike like that at Old Trafford for ages. Like, I've seen so many great goals in my life being scored at Old Trafford, not just from Manchester United, but from the away section as well, and the opposition we've played in the past. But that goal today was absolutely phenomenal. Top bins, the finesse, the power. It's just the curl of the ball. Soon as that ball left this foot, I knew that was going in. It was just the quality of the strike to seal all 3 points and to get that win officially secured. Because when you're sat at 2-0, all Leicester City have got to do is snatch a goal back. All they've got to do is get one back, and all of a sudden the pressure is then on Manchester United to hold on to the 3 points. The goal to seal it is absolutely brilliant. You cannot take away Garnacho's brilliance to seal these points today. And this is why he needs to be starting over Marcus Rashford, because again today, we are starting to witness the quality of what Garnacho is producing when he's putting a Man United shirt. As soon as he comes on the pitch, the intensity levels are up here. The quality's up here. The brilliance is up here. Like, every time Garnacho gets that ball, the opposition are in trouble. Our attacking levels go through the roof. The opportunities and the chances we get to create even more chances and even more goals, they go up here when Garnacho's on the pitch. Without Garnacho on that left wing, we don't look great, in my view. We don't look that great. I thought Marcus Rashford, again, didn't really help himself today. And I think, for me, this is coming to the end of what Marcus Rashford's doing for this club. I've not seen it against PAOK. I've not seen it again today against Leicester. There's got to be a serious consideration and a serious question. Marcus Rashford is going to have to be dropped, because 2 massive inconsistent performances in the last 2 games in a row. If this is what's going to be happening every week, there's got to be a serious question. Do we shift him in January, or do we get rid of him in the summer? Because Garnacho is showing the levels that Rashford isn't. I don't know what's happening to Rashford, but again today, I've been left really frustrated, because every time he got on the left wing and he had the ball, didn't create, didn't really get the Leicester City back four, kept losing the ball, kept losing possession, kept giving the ball away, played passes that didn't really work, kept playing the ball back a lot more than playing the ball forward. Marcus Rashford should not be in that team, if I'm being honest. I think the time has come now that he has to be ridiculed to the bench, because I think we lack an attacking threat. We lack that attacking left winger to go at the opposition back four. 10 minutes. We need that back. The attack is non-existent when Marcus Rashford's in that team, in my view. It's absolutely non-existent. And I think, for me, when Garnacho came on, it was a sigh of relief. It was like, right, now let's go for this. Now let's go and get that 3rd goal. And I think it also gives one up to Marcus Rashford and say, do you know what? You're not producing, mate. You need to start hitting these levels that I'm hitting, because Rashford ain't doing it. He's not stepping up at the moment. And I don't know why. I don't know if he's carrying an injury or not, or a little niggle, but I don't know why he is struggling the way he's struggling. But I've been saying this for ages. If Marcus Rashford ain't producing, please let someone have the chance to say, look, future-wise, Garnacho's the main man. I can't drop Garnacho. You can't drop Ahmad either. The problem we've got, again, we are struggling to score goals from down the middle. We are struggling that consistent striker to put the ball in the net. I think the last goal HOJLUND scored was against Brentford, and nothing since then. Joshua ZIRKZEE has played 11 Premier League games, 2 Carabao Cup, 4 Europa League, and a Community Shield. 1 goal in 17 games. I'm sorry to say again today, the second half cameo from him, it's a sign of the times, I think. And I think also Rasmus is struggling as well. And I hate to say it, but I have to agree with what Ruud van Nistelrooy is saying, that both of them are out of form. They're both struggling to put the ball in the net. They're both not consistent enough in front of goal. They're not showing the levels of what a striker can be. They're not reaching the targets and the goals that Man United want them to hit. They're not getting the goals that they both want to help the team's result in a more emphatic way. This is the problem when you don't have a consistent striker. And Ruud van Nistelrooy said it in his press conference. We don't have that consistent striker. And he's absolutely bang on, because, again, Rasmus completely non-existent again today. Rasmus really struggled to get a foothold in the game. Couldn't really get the ball to him enough. His first touch seems to be way off at the moment. Have we invested in the next Romelu Lukaku? Because Lukaku had the same problem with his first touch when he was at the club. Joshua ZIRKZEE, when you bring him on, does that fill you with any confidence? It doesn't, because 1 goal in 17 is a telltale sign of you ain't going to last long here. And Rasmus has to be in that same equation. And like I said, we need that consistent striker. We need that striker who puts the ball in the back of the net every game. We don't have it. We don't have that quality. We couldn't get Rasmus or ZIRKZEE anywhere near as a threat. We couldn't get them involved in the game. They weren't exactly being a threat inside the penalty area. I don't think Rasmus even got inside that penalty area today. And I don't think Joshua ZIRKZEE did either. It might to create an attacking threat, which is a major, major problem. It is a big problem, because going forward, how are we going to score goals? The goals are coming through the midfield. The goals are coming through Garnacho. Garnacho is our top goal scorer this season. That says a lot about our strikers. And also, when the goals are coming through the midfield as well, that also gives you a sign of we've got a big problem. And that does need to be fixed. I'm not trying to take away anything from the result today. It's a great result. It's a clean sheet. We've won 3-0. But we need to be more clinical in front of goal if we're going to be able to produce the levels that we need to get to. And that is, we need to get our strikers scoring. How we're going to do that, I don't know. But again, when you see the rumours of this morning that Man United are really, really interested in signing Victor Gyökeres from Sporting Lisbon, I think they're going to have to look at the performance today, where the goals have come from, how the performance overall has been won, and how we've won 3-0 today, and where the main threat is and where the lack of threat also is in that team. And they're going to indicate straight away, well, ZIRKZEE ain't scoring any goals. Rasmus has gone so many goals without a game now. So how do you improve Rasmus's level? How do you improve Joshua ZIRKZEE? The wingers do need to get the ball to them a bit more. Like, there is a lack of service from our wingers to get Rasmus the ball. But Rasmus isn't helping himself when he's coming from the striker position. He's slipping back into the midfield and trying to get hold of the ball to then run through the whole of the midfield against the Leicester City back four. That's all I saw from Rasmus today, was try to come away from the striking position, try and win the ball back from the midfield and try and play right through the midfield to try and run at everybody. That ain't going to work. And again, that's the problem we've got. We've got strikers who are trying to get the ball instead of trying to command the ball in the penalty area and try and create a chance for themselves. But we didn't see that today. The threats in that team are phenomenal. We have got good players, but the goals are drying up for our strikers. And I think that's a big problem Ruben Amorim's going to have. And he's going to have to probably have a look at this when he comes in. And I think he takes charge tomorrow. So Ruben Amorim is in charge from tomorrow. He will be Man United's new coach officially from tomorrow. And he'll take his first training session with everyone that's not involved on the international duty now, because we're on another 2-week break, which is really fucking annoying again. And it is frustrating because I wanted to carry on. But again, we've got another winnable game, which we are away to Ipswich, who again are going to be buzzing after their result day. They've got their first win since they've been back in the Premier League, away at Tottenham, who I fully expected Tottenham to win that game. How Tottenham have lost to Ipswich. I mean, bloody hell, that is a shocking result for Spurs. But there's going to be that bounce from Ipswich now that they can go on and produce more results, that they can go and produce more wins. But I would expect quite a comfortable away win at Portman Road against Ipswich Town. I wouldn't really fear facing them away from home, and it will be our new manager bounce. And I want Ruben Amorim to start well. I really, really do. But I think he's got to solve how we get our striker scoring, because that was the biggest problem again today, because the goals have dried up, not for just for HOJLUND, but for Joshua ZIRKZEE as well. Both strikers are not consistent. Both strikers have ran out of goals. How do we improve their game? We need to get the ball to them a lot more. That has to be provided through the service from the midfield to our wingers. But again, when you've got the quality of wingers like Ahmad and Garnacho producing, we don't really have a lot to worry about, because they will create a load of moments and a load of chances for Manchester United to score enough goals to win the game. And again, they were absolutely brilliant again today, in my view, to get that whole performance sealed. And again, that's the two wingers that I think is the long-term plan. Now, there now needs to be a long-term vision down the middle for a striker. If that's Victor Gyökeres from Sporting Lisbon and Man United are going to have to do it, they might have to sanction it in January and pay the money. I think we should. I think we're going to have to do it, because that's going to be a big problem Ruben Amorim is going to face. How do we turn ZIRKZEE and HOJLUND's forms around? Because if both of them are not scoring, do we root back to a false nine again? That's not what I want. I want a goal scorer in that team. And if, he sees that as a weakness, Ruben Amorim has to be backed, he has to be listened to, and he has to be given a new striker. Because I don't think he's going to like it if HOJLUND and ZIRKZEE aren't improving and they're not scoring enough goals. That's a big question I think we're going to face. But also I think today was a big question and a big problem, again, was Diego Dalot. I mean, no wonder he was shifted off in the second half, because Dalot today, the amount of fouls and the amount of free kicks that guy gave to Leicester City today, it's no wonder that I'm absolutely ridiculing him, because I just don't rate the guy. I don't know what he offers defensively. I don't know what Diego Dalot offers going forward. For me, he does not give me any confidence. Every time he gets the ball, he gives the ball away. He plays an audacious pass to try and clear the ball away from the Leicester City player that's on him, and he gets the ball on his left foot and he just boots it upfield, and it ends up falling to an opposition player. And he did that a lot today. Dalot is not the answer at left back. So for me, we do need that left back. We need that left back in January, and we do need a striker. And I think Ruben Amorim has got every right to demand it. And people say he ain't going to be given money. I think he's going to have to, because I think he's going to look at the performance. He's going to look at the overall what happened today, and he's going to really realise, right, we need a left back and we need another striker. That's the only negatives I have got from today's game, is the left back is still a problem. And again, from a ZIRKZEE and HOJLUND point of view, both players are now struggling. Their confidence is gone. But today's a really positive day. Obviously, we've said goodbye to Ruud van Nistelrooy. I still think Man United will try and keep him in some capacity. I don't know what that's going to be, but I think it's probably best for all parties that he moves on, because if it goes wrong under Ruben Amorim, the players will jump all over Ruud van Nistelrooy, and then 2-3 years down the line, we will be back in the same position where an ex-legend of the club then gets sacked by the club, because it all starts going pear-shaped. And obviously, I think today, if they're going to give player of the match to anybody, it's got to go to midfield three. They were absolutely brilliant, solid as a rock today defensively. Phenomenal. absolute midfield performance from UGARTE, Fernandes and Casemiro today. So Manchester United 3, Leicester City 0. Hope you enjoyed this live reaction. Please hit the like button and the share button. Please keep subscribing to the channel, which is United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit a retweet button. Remember to always remember the notification bell. Put that bell on at all times to receive dedicated upcoming brand new content of videos, shorts and live streams we've got planned in these last 2 months in 2024 in November and December. And now we are on another 2-week international break. So our next look ahead will be in 2 weeks' time, where we face Ipswich Town away, in which will be Ruben Amorim's first game in charge officially as Manchester United's new manager. I think it will be a dream start. I'm hoping Ruben Amorim will do well. I'm hoping he will lead us back to where we want to be. And I'm fully behind the manager. But if it goes wrong, it's on Ineos. But yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks for our next look ahead in the Premier League, which will be Ipswich Town versus Manchester United at Portman Road. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evenings. Stay safe, be nice, be kind to each other. You're all legends, you're all legendary, and I'll see you all on the next one.